He wore many hats, but whether in the political, cultural, or family sphere, Charles Maynard was remembered as a man who brought passion to all of his undertakings. Family, friends, well-wishers, and ordinary Bahamians pay their last respects to the Free National Movement chairman today. Maynard's untimely death 2 weeks ago sent shockwaves throughout the country, and though party politics was a big part of his life, today it was secondary to the memories of his big personality and the smile he wore constantly. We start our team coverage of today's funeral with reports from Altavis Bunnings and Shanique Miller.
Bay Street was literally closed down Friday morning to accommodate the procession of the late Charles Maynard. Maynard's body lied here and stayed at the House of Assembly all day Thursday and up until shortly after 10 o'clock Friday morning, when his family members got their final viewing. The majority of the Maynard family gathered at the House of Assembly to view their beloved relative Charles, some of them overcome with emotion. While the family paid their last respects, the bearers' party, comprising officers of the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Forces, and the mourning party assembled in Parliament Square. Moments later, the national flag and the standard bearers and members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band took their positions in the same area. Parliamentary pallbearers waited for their cue from the protocol officers. Now, once the immediate family members viewed the body, some of them stood in Bay Street to participate in the procession, while others traveled in vehicles. The bearers' party then removed the casket from the foyer of the House of Assembly. It took about 10 minutes for the entire procession to line Bay Street, and then the procession began. Spectators lined Bay Street to get a glimpse of the procession for themselves. It was truly a moment in Bahamian history. The procession on Bay Street took about 20 minutes and ended here at Christ Church Cathedral on George Street. My colleague Shanique Miller picks up the story from here, and Shanique, it's obvious that a lot of people came out here this morning to get a view of the funeral.
Altavis, hundreds of people turned up here at Christ Church Cathedral hoping to get a seat inside. They were unable to get inside, though. However, they were accommodated under large tents here on the side of the church, and also able to view the entire service on large screen televisions. In the crowd would be foreign diplomats, sporting and other organizations, the Golden Knights, parliamentarians, and people from all around the country. They paused to highlight a short but storied life. At 42, Maynard was a businessman, deputy CEO of the CDR, member of parliament, minister of state, minister, and chairman of the F&M. But perhaps his most important accomplishments: father, brother, son, husband, friend. Some of the stories, like those from his lifelong friend, Lavardo Duncanson, evoked laughter.
Charles did not invite me to stand in his wedding. I was disappointed. Charles instead said to me he wanted me to perform the wedding as a minister of the gospel. To be honest with you, I didn't know how to take that because I was ready for payback. But as we went through the counseling sessions, what touched me the most was Charles said to me, "If you do not perform this wedding, I will not get married."
The man he would step out with to form a third political party in 2000, Dr. Bernard Nottage, also recalled funny moments in their relationship. However, the Minister of National Security also remembered Charles being a man of strong conviction, committed, talented, and focused.
After the 2007 general elections, in his first interview, he stated that he had made the right decision. His dream to sit in Parliament and make decisions on behalf of the people had been realized. He was filled with so much joy and enthusiasm that even though I was on the opposite side, I was happy for him that he had gotten the opportunity to serve and to be part of a government. Nevertheless, we joked that the CDR had 3 members of Parliament. There was Charles, there was Fenton, and there was me. And, you know, for the sake of the former Right Honorable Prime Minister and the current Right Honorable Prime Minister, we could have had the balance of power if we wanted to exercise it. From time to time, he would throw jabs at me, I guess hoping that I would respond to him. But I made a decision right from the beginning that I was going to leave Charles alone after he got that transfusion that he said turned him into the party he then belonged to. But anytime he would throw jabs at me, I would see him look down at his cell phone, and there was Nina, my friend, telling him, "Cut that stuff out." Leave BJ alone.
As for his service to country, the man who would push him to the forefront of government, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham, called Maynard a good human being, as he talked about the former Youth, Sports and Culture Minister's strengths and the life qualities that caused him to stand out.
He always demonstrated a heart for people and a willingness to help in any way he could, but never seemed to expect anything in return. You are definitely fearless, a good individual, and you've given me encouragement to do and to be more like that. If you demonstrated any weaknesses, it would have been that you are simply too nice a guy. I always found Charlie to be honest, reliable, trustworthy, and confidential. In a word, I found Charlie to be honorable.
Although cabinet colleagues in the F&M, party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says over the last few months he really got the chance to know Maynard. He called him a political statesman and champion of causes he held dear. He called the 42-year-old his hero.
We stand with love and gratitude for the sacrificial service of this patriot who gave his all unselfishly for his country, our Bahamas. Recently, we spent much more time together due to our new roles within the F&M. I am grateful for this opportunity, as I was just beginning to appreciate the depth of his knowledge, the compassion he displayed for those that needed help, and the wisdom he shared with all those who would listen.
After full mass, Maynard's flag-draped coffin was loaded onto a bier, open for all to see. He was then driven through the streets of the capital to Village Road, where a procession took him to Woodlawn Gardens and into the hands of his Prince Hall family for burial. Charles Maynard, gone too soon, but the F&M has promised to follow his policies to grow the organization and further the causes of young people around the country. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.